only this particular part of the where the guest speaker introduces themselves and answers our one question, and then we'll stop recording. So just to um, give everyone a quick update on our stats, we are 5 months old. We are very, very new. We have had 18 guest speakers so far, to include today's guest speaker, and then 22 past members, and then we're at 549 members in 5 months or less, and still counting. So we're gonna hit like 550, hopefully today or tomorrow. So we're going pretty fast. Spread the word with others. There are other people who need that so-called advice and motivation. So continue to spread the good word. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Eric Bloom. Eric and I have known each other for many years. He is one of he was my instructor who gave me my IT Management Leadership Executive certification. He's a jokester. He has a very good leadership style, down to earth fellow. And if you attend any of his free webinars, which I'm sure Eric can share with you if you connect with him, he makes a lot of jokes. He's funny, attentive teacher, professor, etc. So without further ado, Eric, if you can do a small introduction of yourself and then go right into the question that we ask all our guest speakers. Can you share one piece of insider knowledge that many job seekers might not be aware of, but would find incredibly helpful in their job search?
Absolutely, and thank you, Danny, for having me on. Again, my name's Eric Bloom. I'm the executive director of the IT Management and Leadership Institute. We're the governing body of two certifications in IT management that have been recognized by CIO.com, Indeed, and others. Bottom line is we help techies be managers and future IT executives. To the question that was asked, of a meaningful piece of advice, most people, when, you ask for, gee, I'm on a job search or I'm going for an interview, what is it, what's your piece of, what advice can you give me? What most people will say, it's related to that first interview. Because, well, that's what most people do. That's what I do a lot. But what I wanted to bring to you here is not advice for your first interview, but for your second interview. In other words, you have met with who would be your boss, and you've done a really good job. That person has asked you to come back and meet with their boss. So effectively, you'll be meeting with what would ultimately be your boss's boss. Now, when doing that, certainly when you're meeting with this person, is they're going to be interviewing you, with the idea of, is this person right? Are you right for the specific job that's open that you're being hired for? That's sort of an obvious, that's a gimme. But when anyone interviews you, that's up two levels. Now, this could be if the president of the company is interviewing a VP and the SVP is in the middle. It could be if it's a individual contributor being interviewed by, say, the director that's going to report to the manager. So this is really true of all organizational levels. And what that is that the second thing that senior manager will be looking at you about is, now whether it's conscious or just not conscious, is they're going to be thinking to themselves, is this person promotable? Would they be with us for a while? Can they join our management ranks or expand if they're in a management job to a more senior management job? The reason being is like as a first level manager, you're continually thinking, gee, how long are my people going to be with me? I'm getting another rec open? Who do I know in other places that I can bring in? Well, when you're a senior manager, and I'll just refer to it as director, but if you're a director level manager, not only do you want to bring in individual contributors, but you're thinking, gee, what if one of my managers leaves, or the department is getting bigger and they have to hire another manager in. So as a result of that, they're either, again, subliminally or actually it's on the top of mind of saying, gee, if I bring Danny in and hire him to work for, I'll say, Luther, is that, first of all, do I think that Luther, even though Luther likes Danny, would that be a really good hire that can do the work at hand? But then maybe I'm also thinking that Luther's going to get promoted, going to move laterally to another part of the company. So I might be thinking, hey, could Danny eventually take Luther's job? Or if I'm going to need another manager at that level, could Danny grow into that position? So bottom line, when you meet with this person, don't play it like, well, I could be a great a great manager reporting to you too. But just have it in mind on how you answer those questions of being a little bit more worldly, a little bit more articulate, talking at a manager's level as well as at the level of job that you're applying for specifically. So if you do those things, the senior manager will probably like you more. And what do you really want there? Just the nod so that your manager can hire you, but also positioning you well for future positions in the company. Because as they say, you can only make a first impression once.
Thank you, Eric.
Oh, my
So,
pleasure.
so Eric, if you don't mind sticking around, we have a few slides to go through. That's part of our routine, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Absolutely.